Hello, fellow followers, and welcome to FanZcene, and this is the Physical Media Show. Tonight with me is Tom from Midnight's Edge. Just the two of us again. How you doing,
Just the
Tom?
two of us.
Just the two of us. You and I.
Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us.
I always think of like
You and
Austin Powers
I. Oh,
now.
yeah. Yeah.
Mini me and him.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. So, yeah, just the two of us. So, it'll probably be a pretty tight show, but we got
Yeah,
enough news and stuff to talk about, I think. So, I think we'll
yeah,
be all
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
But
you
yeah,
wanna?
so
Yeah, I was gonna say you
I was
wanna.
gonna say, so who we have anybody even here yet? How many
Yeah,
people
we
we
got
got?
Tim Hayes who's hanging out with us. Welcome, Tim Hayes. And we did have like a bunch of people, but as soon as we hit live, they all disappeared.
That's YouTube. I think it takes a few minutes to catch up or
Yeah,
some
they
shit
catch up
stupid.
with it.
But,
But hail to the audience and Tim Hayes
yeah.
and everybody watching.
So holla holla, share out the stream, tell them we're live.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did get some Blu-ray news, of course, and some other stuff to talk about. But I don't know where you want to kick it off. But
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the Blu-ray news first. What you got?
let's see here. Well, Barnyard is finally coming to Blu-ray for those who are fans of it. January 25th. Bad News Bears, the remake, is coming to Blu-ray January 25th. Finally, for the first time. Clock Stoppers. I think that was that already on Blu-ray. I guess
I
not.
don't know.
Evidently,
Is that what's that? Was that like? I think I remember that movie. I think that's only on DVD.
you could be right.
Yeah.
That one's coming January 25th. We're getting what it looks like a straight-to-video werewolf movie called Werewolves Within, starring Sam Richardson and Melina Weintraub, whoever that is.
It's the chick from the AT&T commercials.
That, yeah. But it's certified fresh.
Ooh,
That's coming
that
from
means it's crap.
RLJ. Yeah, that's coming from RLJE Films. And Going Ape, the Danny DeVito,
Yes, I did see that.
Tony Danza film, is finally coming to Blu-ray from Paramount on January 17th. Yeah, a lot of these are Paramount titles, kids.
Yes.
Paramount is ramping up their release slate here. The British label Fractured Vision is bringing out 29 Palms, the independent feature. Card Player, I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but it's a 2004 Dario Argento film. That's coming from Scorpion on the 11th of January.
Cool.
Resident Evil Infinite Darkness Season 1 hits Blu-ray on December 21st. Bloody Pit of Horror from 1965 hits Severin Blu-ray on what looks like it's going to be out for Black Friday. It doesn't have a date here.
Cool.
Seventh Dawn is hitting Blu-ray, the 64 film. Also hitting film, a newer film hitting Blu-ray is from RLJE, if I could talk. Silent Night. I don't know if you remember that one. It has Lily Rose Depp in it, though. That I kind of remember, and Keira Knightley.
Yeah, kind of vaguely.
Vaguely remember. That's supposed to be hitting theaters on December 3rd, and I think that's also coming out on video on the same day or something like that. Yeah. The other one, big 4K announcement from Shout, The Message is hitting Blu-ray. So the Anthony Quinn, Mustafa Akkad produced film, The Message, is hitting Blu-ray next year from Shout. Another announcement is Paramount is releasing what is being called a 30th anniversary edition of Wayne's World on February 1st, and it will be joined by a 2-pack of 1 and 2. Now, these movies are already on Blu-ray.
Yes.
And I cannot find anywhere that states that these are any new scans, any new version of. So as far as I know right now, this is just a repackaging of the old Blu-ray.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
But Paramount has been pretty good, and we see them with a lot. Maybe, just maybe, this is one of those releases that is remastered in 4K, and it's just not going to be in 4K on Blu-ray, just on digital or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
And they will add like a new commentary or something like that from Mike Myers or something. We'll see. Once we learn more about that, we'll let you guys know. But as for right now, I'm I'm gonna say it's probably the same Blu-ray as before. So if you already own it, it's probably the same thing. The Steelbook does look cool though. The one is coming out on a Steelbook edition. So Jet Li fans from 88 Films, you might want to check that one out.
Oh, I do like that movie. The one, it's just one of those crazy off the wall, nonsensical movies.
Yeah, but
I love that.
Yeah. Fortress is a newer film with Bruce Willis. That's hitting Blu-ray on December 21st.
I thought that was going to be the Christopher Lambert one.
No, it doesn't say anything about 4K though, so I'm assuming that might just be a Blu-ray only release. Speaking of 4K though, Shout Factory did announce they're also releasing Lion of the Desert. And yeah, it does look like it's a 4K release also next year, so that's going to go well with Mustafa Akkad's other film. There you go.
That's cool.
Kino is also releasing 2 Burt Reynolds films, it looks like. Impasse and Breaking In, 2 lesser known Reynolds films, but there you go. New 2K restoration of both. And we're rounding out now. We're getting close, kids. We're almost through the news. Pirates of the Caribbean is finally coming to 4K on January 4th. This is one we talked about quite a bit earlier on 4K for you. We're not quite sure what the status of the mastering process is going to be, but as soon as we find out, we'll let you know. Scream Factory is not done yet. They've got Krampus, the Naughty Cut, coming on 4K. We've already brought this up, I believe. But I think we have a date now. That's coming December 7th.
Just in time.
The new film Reminiscence is out this week, along with another new film that I'm going to be talking about here soon. The Last Duel, the new Ridley Scott film starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, will hit Blu-ray on December 14th, it looks like. And Kino's not done. They've got a couple of announcements. There was another one they did, but I can't remember the title of it, and it's not here in front of me. But the other big classic title they're releasing is Some Like It Hot.
Cool.
With Jack Lemmon and Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis. But the other one was similar to that title. I can't remember what it was offhand.
Tim Hayes says Kino is working on a Blu-ray restoration of Werewolf of Washington, starring Dean Stockwell.
There you go. Yeah. And then also just recently announced, just fresh off the press this just got added to Blu-ray.com. Revenge of the Shogun Women in 3D. Everybody's excited for that one. That one looks like it's going to be some fun. And that will include a 3D anaglyph and passive or polarized 3D or whatever you want to call it version of the film as well, along with a couple of new shorts. And then we also have Jean-Claude Van Damme's Hard Target, also got a street date.
Yes.
We may have brought this up last week, but it's coming December 7th.
Cool.
I'm going to pre-order that right now.
Yes, and that will come with the unrated cut of the film too. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, that was the other cool part, because I think the big question out there was whether or not the unrated cut was going to be in 4K or not, and I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
Other than that, the other new announcement was last night in Soho will be hitting Blu-ray on what day was it? Did they say? I believe it's January, but I don't have the date here in front of me.
Have you seen that one yet?
No, but I've heard good things about it.
That's what I said. I've heard good things too. I just haven't had a chance to see it.
New York was the other one. Hang on here. Let me bring this thing up. I wasn't prepared.
Sorry.
Because we also had a couple of rumors from the Digital Bits anyway, so I'm glad I brought it up. Let's see here. What was the video you did about Freddy's Nightmares?
Yes. That's how I was going to bring that up too. TerraVision Records are releasing the original broadcast soundtrack for Freddy's Nightmares this Friday. It's going to have a single LP or a triple LP with like a TV guide with an episode guide for the
link to that
series. Yes, let me find it for you.
Not right this minute if you don't want to, but I want to get that.
Yeah,
I don't need the fucking series on DVD.
Exactly, they haven't did it. They haven't done the series at all. But I did, I saw that, and I'm hoping that maybe like I know Warner Brothers plays Freddy to the Vest, like you said, they won't let anybody else touch it.
Well, the thing with that show is It has a sordid history.
It does.
In a sense of not like it's like rights wise, but like a lot of people that worked on it are kind of embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
And not only that, like they made it for dirt cheap, and they knew it was going to be mostly shown in the middle of the night, so like they let the directors do like all kinds of nutty shit. So it would be really cool if we could get like an ultimate edition where they show the uncut versions of some of the episodes that got chopped to shit for syndication, because they were shown in syndication. They had to chop them down for television, because I guess they filmed a lot of the episodes like straightforward R-rated, and then they'd have to cut them down. There is a couple that are available on the Blu-ray disc set of the Friday 13th, Jesus Christ, Nightmare on Elm Street box set.
Yeah,
but just it's a couple episodes and that's it. It would be nice if they just released them all. It'd be great.
it would be
I
good.
know they're cheesy as fuck.
Yeah,
but I love them.
Me too. I mean,
as far as I know, the only thing holding them back is embarrassment.
Yeah, I would say so, but I would love to have it, like you said, especially like in uncut versions of it. I mean, come on, just the fans are dying for this, and they'll definitely make money off of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree. So yeah, send me the link for that soundtrack. I want to pick that up, by the way.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the thing, but I don't think they've actually put it up on their
Oh, okay, yeah,
their thing yet, because it releases this Friday. And I don't think they've put out the link to pre-order it yet, but I can send you the link to the website.
Right. So. All right. Well, the other news we have was Dune is looking for a January 11th release, but I think we already had talked about that last week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because we already brought up Candyman and all that stuff and The Great Escape. Shang-Chi is already up for pre-order in some places, or going to be out soon. Talked about that. We talked about Pirates of the Caribbean. What else was there here? Because I know there was a couple more things, and then we can move on to what we got here.
Yeah.
That's all that's about. The 1980 film Nightmares is hitting Umbrella Entertainment along with Death Screams. The 1933 film The Secret of the Blue Room is coming from Kino. The new film Old, of course, is coming from Universal. I don't have a date on that, though. Let's see here. Ghost Ship is another one that I think we already talked about, though.
Is that the one? No, that's not with Jamie. That's Virus with Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah. I don't know why I always think that.
There's a couple of older announcements here. We've got The Naked Spur from 1953 from MGM via the Warner Archive collection. Speaking of the Warner Archive, I might have a title from there tonight. Let's see here. We also have The Angel for Satan for Severin, along with Coogan's Bluff. That's already out on Kino, though. That's a little bit older news. We got The Last Duel News of Pirates. Okay, Many Saints, and this is coming on 12/21, so that'll be out before the end of the year, kids.
Did you watch The Many Saints of New York?
No, I never even got into the show, but I'd like to. I've heard good things about the show. I don't know about the movie, though.
The show is really good. I haven't watched the movie yet, though.
Yeah, the Will Smith film King Richard hits Ultra HD on 2/8. It's February 8th. The Green Mile was one of the other big announcements. That's right. We're getting that on 2/22/22. The Green Mile. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I would like to have that one on a nice set.
And considering how well the Shawshank Redemption turned out, I'm hoping the same for Green Mile. Would even be nice is if they have to spread it over 2 discs. I don't care. Make it look good. The other one I couldn't remember earlier was The Apartment. That was the other one that's coming out with Jack Lemmon from Kino Lorber in a 4K Ultra Edition. Or Ultra HD Edition. Dressed to Kill and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy are coming from Kino Lorber as well in 4K. We also have Dear Evan Hansen coming on the 7th of December. No Time to Die is the other big announcement. That's coming the 21st. Halloween Kills, and here's Last Night in Soho. Halloween Kills and Last Night in Soho are coming out on the 11th and 25th of January. So there you go. And then there was the rumors. These were the other ones I thought we'd talk a little bit about, and then we can get into our stuff. The big rumor that Bill Hunt put out there, I don't know if you saw this or not, or if you heard it earlier, if you were watching, a couple of titles from Warner. Singing in the Rain.
Ooh.
Casablanca.
Ooh.
These would be 4K restorations.
Nice.
And now these are the two that I know we're gonna get. Did you know about these or not?
No, I did not.
These
And
next
I
two are
like
gonna get you
Casablanca
giddy.
Singing in the Rain.
The next two are gonna get you giddy.
Ooh, what's this?
Poltergeist.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Lost Boys.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you're speaking. Like, I like the first two that you mentioned too, but yeah,
exactly.
All four
I figure I'd start with the classics. Gotcha. Now we're gonna get to the good stuff.
Oh,
and it's
man.
funny. Didn't you and I just talk about Poltergeist?
Yeah, we just talked. We like because
just talking about
part 2 and 3, and then like 1 was like we got the Blu-ray, but it's not the greatest.
Yeah, like
it definitely needed an upgrade
restoration on that one. Exactly.
Yeah. So hell yeah, that's some awesome titles right there.
Yeah, I knew you'd get excited about that. I figured you already knew about that though. So
no, I actually did not hear about that today.
Those are just rumored.
Just rumored.
But
just rumored everybody, but
Bill's been pretty much on the money with these things, so I wouldn't be surprised.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, that's the news. Unless you had anything else, sir.
No, but I will. If you want to see this real quick, let's see if I can.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to see it if you got it.
Yeah. I'll show you what's coming. I played this. I put this promo in my video, so I don't think we should get claimed for this.
But the best thing is, guys, remember, next year's 2022, 1982 was a very good year for movies, kids.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was.
So always remember the anniversaries.
See, did it? My internet can be choppy, so I'm hoping this.
No problem.
Having trouble sleeping? Tormented by nightmares of flesh
I should have had me do
melting, gut ripping, and severed head and bubble baths? Well, don't kill yourself yet.
Don't kill yourself yet.
It's the fine.
Oh my God! That
don't glitch out on me.
Unearth the perfect soundtrack to soothe you into slumber. Freddy's Nightmares, the original broadcast. It's the stuff dreams are made of, jam-packed with all the hits. Available as a blood-soaked best of LP or a terrifying triple LP that comes complete with a full Freddy's Nightmares episode guide. And check out this bundle. Ready to shred? Then come on down. Morticians are standing by. If you want the deep cuts, you can always count on TerraVision. So come on, give it a spin. Freddy's Nightmares, the original broadcast soundtrack.
Yeah, you'll definitely get it.
Get out of here, Puck Breath. This is my promo.
My internet, I know that was blurry as crap, everybody.
Yeah, all right. I think we got the gist.
You get the point of it. It was Sharp Hand Joe there for you. The bad.
Like what Glinzer says, though. Worst Freddy's Nightmare episode is 1,000 times better than Tales from the Hood 2. Metal Runner, what the fuck are you doing in the chat? Why aren't you in the show, man?
He's working, so he's lurking.
Oh, you soy boy.
I like it, but yes, I know that probably blurred out everybody, but there you go. It's actually pretty cool. I'm pretty interested in getting that, and it comes out Friday. This Friday it goes on sale, right. But they have not put up the link to purchase it yet. They just have put out that.
Well, send me the link that I have to get to or whatever. Yeah,
I put it in the private chat. Right there. That's the website. Oh, okay. It'll be right up on that Friday.
Gotcha. Oh, cool. Oh, place for me to spend more money.
Yeah, and they do a lot of stuff, cool records and stuff on there for movies like that.
Do they do CDs though too, or just records?
I know they do like vintage, they do records and cassettes. They might do CDs. You'd have to check through them.
Well, hopefully, if not, they come with at least a digital version. But all right,
that'd be nice.
I'll shop later. Yes. I don't have the money right now anyway. So let's get into this thing here.
All right, you want to go first or me?
Don't matter to me. I can go first.
Okay, here you go.
Let's see here. What are we going to start with? Let's start with the archive collection one, since that's the lesser of the two, I guess. I got Straight Time with Dustin Hoffman from the Warner Archive.
Cool.
The film came out in 1978. Not more.
Any special features?
It does have a commentary from Dustin Hoffman and the director. And a featurette, vintage one, and theatrical trailer. So nothing too bad for.
It's a little more than most Warner.
Yeah, a little bit more than most Warner Classic Archive. No upgrade in sound or anything like that. The picture's pretty decent though. It's got Harry Dean Stanton, of course, in it as well. Gary Busey, Teresa Russell. pretty decent film. I'd never seen it before. I'd heard of it, but I'd never really seen it. There's like the one scene I'd seen before, and that was it. But what it's basically about is Dustin Hoffman plays a guy who's recently out of prison, and so he's like they're on parole, and he's got just a hard ass fucking parole agent, and so basically he kind of gets just pushed to his limit, and he basically just flips out on the guy. I don't want to give too much away because it's kind of a slow burn.
Oh, it's like, yeah. I don't mind the slow burn, man. I like those.
Yeah, but like giving away too much of the plot like kind of gives away the whole story. But yeah, it's like this guy who's just trying to get his shit together, and he just keeps getting pushed by the system kind of thing. It's a pretty good movie. Not like great. I think it got some Oscar attention, but I don't think it won anything.
I don't think I've ever heard of this one, so.
Yeah, it's not one of his more well-known ones. Ulu Grosbrard is the director. I don't really see too many other names. Screenplay was by Alvin Sargent and Edward Bunker and Jeffrey Boehm. I don't know any of those guys.
I've heard
it
of
was based
Sargent.
on a book. I know that. I believe, if I remember the credits right. It's just edgy and kind of reminiscent of things like if you ever liked movies like Falling Down.
That's what Glisner just said.
Yep. Yeah, it is a lot like that in that kind of a vein, but it is a slow burn. But it's a very interesting character study. Like Teresa Russell is amazing in it. She plays this girl that he meets up with at this job service, and they kind of have a thing that gets going. And again, it's like this, like I said, it's just constantly this guy's trying to get his shit together, and his parole agent is this dickhole. It's played by Emmett Walsh. And it's Gary Busey is his buddy. He's just like kind of reckless.
Sounds like a great cast.
Yeah, it's a great cast. And Teresa Russell is gorgeous in it. My God. And again, it's a good watch. It's not that long either. It's 2 hours, 114 minutes, so not even 2 hours. I mean, it's not like slow, but it's a slow burn.
It sounds good. It sounds like a decent watch.
When it leads up to it's just like a bunch of building to the climax kind of thing. And it's got kind of this, and it doesn't really leave you on it doesn't really give you kind of the definitive ending to it either. It's definitely a 70s movie.
Yeah, those could be good though. Yeah, it sounds decent. I like it, like a nice little slow burn 70s like style type movie like that. That's cool. Sounds good. And Glisner says Teresa Russell, Black Widow before ScarJo.
Yeah. Hotness too, I tell you what.
Hey, sometimes, man, I know you gotta like to have a happy ending, but sometimes that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's based on a true story at all, but it might be inspired by one in any case. But it didn't say it in the movie at all, and I don't know. I didn't get a chance to watch any of the special features, unfortunately. I tried to, but I didn't. But that was one of the only other movies I got to watch this week, so that's why it wound up in my picks for the week.
Cool. It sounds good. I liked it. I like it, and like we said, it's got a little more than most Warner archives.
Yes. I mean, that could be very well because it probably had that shit on the DVD before. Chances are, considering it's a Dustin Hoffman commentary, maybe this had been a Criterion release or something in the past. I have no idea, but yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, they are having an Arrow sale right now. So, and I think a Criterion sale too.
Well, this I got for I think $17.99 on Amazon. It's a Warner Archive release, but not too bad.
Cool.
Now you had to tell me there's another Arrow sale though. I just got some shit from them.
I don't think it's like a huge sale. It's just a couple.
What was the other one?
I think Criterion started their sale earlier.
They usually do a half price sale.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. There's only a couple of Criterion ones I haven't got yet that I really, really want.
Yeah, same here. I'm tend to be more in like the cult classic type movies, and there's occasionally like with the Criterion you want to get something like really, really good. So
the Criterions, they're really good, but it just depends on the movie anymore because they don't go out of print as quick as a lot of the other ones. So I tend to pick those up usually used. So, I mean, they keep their value, but they don't generally go out of print so fast. So they're like Shout and the other ones where you end up having to spend hundreds of dollars to get a disc sometimes.
I know, man. That's crazy sometimes. I was just think about some of those Shout movies that like, it's like, I like these movies, but there's no way I'm paying $100 for this.
I know there was another one there's a couple of them here now, like the Lady in White, and I can't even remember the other one I was looking up the other day that I'm just kind of been dancing around. I'm just like, yeah, I just don't see myself spending that kind of money on it.
I go back and forth on the Sleepaway Camp sequels.
See those? I don't know. My buddy's been bouncing around selling them himself.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I would wait because the first one's still in print.
Yeah, and it's pretty cheap, actually.
And chances are they'll end up doing, like, if they do 4K editions, those will be movies they probably do. But a lot of times, because that's the case, when something goes out of print with Shout, chances are somebody else or themselves are going to re-release it again soon.
Hopefully, because, I mean, I've been wanting to... I like the sequels better than the first one.
I don't know if I've ever seen the sequels.
Oh, man, the sequels are just so cheesy.
The only one I ever watched was the one that What's-Her-Face returned in or whatever, and that was it.
Oh, that was like the fourth
really
one?
Bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's real bad. No, the two they did in the 80s, they shot them back-to-back, and they're, like, vastly different than the original. And they take off the riff of, like...
I kind of remember the second one. I was going to say, because I think my buddy really likes the second one, because I remember he had the poster for the longest time.
Yeah, the second one is probably the better of the sequels. But
so what do you got for us?
Okay. Now, you shared this one already, but I was so excited to get it, so I have to share it. And that would be my Scream 4K Stillbook that I finally got. So... Just had to share it again.
Don't show off your code.
My code, I forgot I left it in there.
Unless you've already used it, then no.
I have not yet. So I don't. Somebody's liable to use it now, but that's okay.
I don't think you got a good look at it.
But yes, I know you already showed it, and we showed some Screaming before, but I had to show that because I was so excited to finally get it. That'll teach me to pre-order a Stillbook from Amazon from now on.
Yeah. I've been very kind of picky and choosy where I've been ordering stuff from lately. Unless I really give a shit about getting it right away. I haven't been going
I don't know, man. That was just like a fluke. I don't know what happened with all that Scream stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I got lucky and got mine almost around the same time as some of the reviewers did, which is surprising.
But
that was because I ordered it right away. And actually, which is funny because I actually canceled my original order and jumped over to the Steelbook from Best Buy, which I'm surprised I got it so quickly. So
yeah. It was crazy. I wouldn't doubt it, Runner. He said the Steelbook's over $100 now. Yeah, whatever happened with that's made them kind of a hot commodity at the moment.
I wonder if because those hit the market first, that they just happen to have those produced first and they were waiting on the other ones or something.
Maybe.
Because I know we talked a little bit about the delay here, but I wouldn't freak out on them and go buy one because chances are the more will hit the market come. Paramount has had a problem with getting their discs to market. Because now it seems like Indiana Jones is pretty readily available. I've seen Star Trek out there a few places now.
Yeah, I've seen Star Trek available and Indiana Jones.
So again, with Paramount titles, I'd just be like, just don't panic. Because the Steelbook wasn't even a Best Buy exclusive or nothing. No, so I'm assuming it's going to be pretty readily available over the next few months, and they'll probably get a big new shipment right around Black Friday sales. And
That's what I was thinking. Right around that perfect holiday season, they're able to see a bunch of these Scream Steelbooks or at least a 4K disc right there.
Right. And here's the other thing is like, I'm curious how many Black Friday Blu-ray sales we will get this year because of the shortage.
Right. I mean, I saw that Best Buy had a little bit of a Black Friday sale going on already, and they didn't have
there's a few
much at all.
I picked up Battlestar Galactica. I picked up I ordered I just said A Few Good Men, which is one I've been wanting to get, and I'm glad I waited.
Yeah.
Now I got it for 14 instead of like 27 or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Or 21 or whatever it was. And then there's a few I've seen that if I didn't have already would have been good deals. I've thought about picking up Free Guy, but I still feel like that I might get a little cheaper if I wait and get it from Walmart or something on Black Friday.
Yeah, I would say it's probably one that would go and sell pretty good.
It's a little disky went to market. This little disky went. Come on, Paramount.
Yes.
Well, and that's what happens when you close all the fucking facilities for that shit.
Exactly, and you leave one open, and then instead of using that one, you use Mexico.
Yeah, but Tommy, that's the thing. As far as like the Scream thing, I wouldn't panic because we've already seen that just because they were scarce to begin with the Indiana Jones and Star Trek sets. Now they're same thing with the Universal Monster set. I can get now for like 30 some bucks. I think I saw it on sale the other day.
Yep. It's gone down a lot.
$40 or whatever it was, yeah. And it's still not cheap enough for me to go, yeah, I'll get it just for the other two I don't have yet.
Yeah, I kind of just want to get the which I've been meaning to for a long time, is the full box set of all of them. They're all 4K scanned already. Yeah, like you said, they're all 4K scanned already, and they're honestly, there's not much difference.
Yeah, we talked about it that last week or whatever when I brought it on. Honestly, I mean, when it comes to these black and white films, the HDR and 4K upgrade is really kind of I mean, yeah, it brings out a little bit better of the shadows and stuff, but it's real minimal, extremely minimal. Because there's even some DVDs that have black and white. If they're just black and white, and they're a decent scan, they look pretty good on a DVD because there's not nearly as much information on a black and white image.
Yeah,
to have to, and usually the way a lot of that stuff was shot, they didn't have the deep focus and stuff that they had later down the line. So a lot of it's pretty flat anyway. So, I mean, there's even like Three Stooges and stuff that I'll watch on my DVDs that look really decent, actually, for only being 480p.
That's true. I mean, like before I got upgraded my Psycho, I watched Psycho on DVD, and it looked pretty damn good just on DVD.
It's kind of like with animation. Like, I have yet to really kind of say, yeah, I think 4K HDR adds anything to animation.
That's true, because I'm a DC fan, and like I've bought like one or two of their animated movies in 4K, and I have most of them, and I've watched the 4K and I've watched the Blu-ray, and I haven't seen much difference. So
I mean, there is, and Tim is right. That black and white does look better in HD. Don't get me wrong. Definitely. But considering, like, to me, it's like animation and black and white films, especially older black and white stuff, the resolution that is needed to portray the image is not as necessary for some of the more elaborate films, I guess is a better way of putting it. But I'll definitely go with a HD at least scan. But I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I need to upgrade.
Yeah,
with the Universal Monster movies, because that box that I have already that I showed is pretty good, and they're from the same scans already. They're just the only difference is the HDR and it's 4K.
Yeah,
and the upgrade was very minimal. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to like things like Citizen Kane might be a little bit better upgrade. Now when we get to that, and then I'll be able to give you a little bit better. Because the only other 4K black and white movies I have offhand, I have a really piss poor job of comparing anything to, because it says A Wonderful Life, which the Blu-ray of that's pretty good. It's a black and white film.
Yeah.
And it's not a real depth heavy film. On the other hand, Doctor Strange Love, I never saw the regular version, or at least not since it was on video years and years ago, so I couldn't really tell you the difference. I just got the 4K edition, so I don't have anything to compare it to. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a lot of shit that's in black and white on 4K.
Yeah. Same here. For animation, the Ghost in the Shell movie is in 4K with HDR. Looks pretty damn good.
I do have that.
I would say the anime probably might pop a little more than maybe
it will probably
superhero cartoons colors, and stuff.
But see, the thing is with animation is it's so flat and pre-lit in a way. Like, I don't know, that's not even the word I'm looking for. It doesn't have the same lighting capacity that regular film does, right? Like, I've seen very minimal upgrades between the few animated films I have. But you could be right with some classic ones like that are more hand drawn. I don't know.
I would say probably
enough.
like Ghost in the Shell, like that old.
I have Akira, Ghost in the Shell in 4K, but I haven't really seen the other versions to compare. So.
That makes sense, though. Mr. Plex says, as someone who just ordered a Blu-ray for a show based on hand-drawn anime, I will have to test that.
Blu-ray definitely looks better than DVD. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
there's a big, huge difference. But like I've got some older Popeye cartoons that are only on DVD for some reason, and they're black and white, and they look pretty darn good for just being straight DVD because there's not as much detail, right?
Right.
It's pretty flat drawings, so. Again, with the upconvert Blu-ray player I have, I'm fine for now if they never do release them. But it would be nice to have a full HD collection of the Three Stooges in Bluray. And I think they're coming cool. Because on that new version, the new second volume of Columbia Classics, they have a bonus disc in there full of short films that are remastered in HD. And one of them is Disorder in the Court, my favorite Three Stooges short. And it looks great. It's definitely an upgrade from the other one. But again, I'm not talking about so much the DVD to Blu-ray. I'm talking more like Blu-ray to 4K, guys. Like there's obviously an upgrade from DVD to Blu-ray no matter what you do. But when it comes to black and white films and animation, I have yet to be convinced that 4K HDR does a whole hell of a lot to help those films. Very little to go on, though.
That's true.
So,
yep. We'll have to, if anybody can compare, let us know so we can see.
So talking about Scream, you watched it. What'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it looked pretty good.
Do you have the old version to compare it to, or
the old Blu-ray? Yeah, I have the old.
Did you
actually have the original DVD, and I have the. I actually watched the Blu-ray version over Halloween because I was this never came, and that was
like shit.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but then when I watched the 4K, I was like, yeah, that's a lot better.
It looks like trash in comparison, yeah. And I don't even know if the new Blu-ray is from the actual negative or not either, but it's definitely a much better print.
Yeah,
it's reframed too. There's a little bit of you can see a little bit more because the old one was cropped off a little bit more.
Yeah, that you can definitely tell that it was more framed in, or more of the frame and everything, and a better picture. It's a lot more crisper. The daylight scenes really popped.
The detail is definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the color timing is much better.
Mm-hmm.
It's closer to what I remember in the theater.
Yeah, it's not as
washed out because they did something to that Blu-ray that is very washed out and overly bright in some scenes. I could have been from the DNR they added to it at the time. I mean, it's a much older Blu-ray release, but
but the 4K, I mean, it's vastly improved. So
yeah, it looks a lot like I remember seeing it in theaters. That's what I was trying to get to. Yeah,
and I'm hoping that maybe down the line we get part 2 and 3.
And Scream was one of those films I was fortunate enough to see like 3-4 times in the theater.
Yes. Well, I did not get to see it in theater, but when it came out on VHS, man, I watched that movie so many times.
That was one of the first widescreen VHSs I bought.
Yeah, it was.
Because and this is what pisses me off, and we brought this up last week, but we can talk a little bit about it now, is that for some reason the unrated cut has not been available.
Yes.
Since that fucking VHS release.
And I have that VHS somewhere. But yeah, that movie, like, I don't know what it was about that movie, or if it was what was going on in my life at the time, but I just like fell in love with that movie and just lost myself in it over and over for a few times. And so that's one of the reasons I was so excited and so upset when this was come out and then didn't get, because I had not watched it in a good few years, and I've had the Blu-ray and everything, and I was like, okay, it's Halloween, I'm getting a 4K, I'm gonna finally watch Scream, and which I have not seen in years, and then it didn't come till after Halloween, but I did watch the Blu-ray over Halloween.
And that's why I question if whether or not they went back to the original negative, because if they had, I think we would have gotten the unrated cut. Because from my recollection, the stuff that got changed was very last minute.
Right.
And that was, they sped up. Okay, the first thing I know that is different is there's a shot of Steve in the beginning. You don't get to see his guts fall out in the unrated cut.
Yes.
In the unrated cut, you do. His guts fall out, and it's a wide shot, not a close-up.
Yes.
And then, so I don't know if that's just a completely different shot or if it's edition 2. I'm trying to remember now.
Actually, when I was watching the 4K,
I think it's a completely different shot.
When I was watching that, the scene where he does gut Steve in the beginning is actually seemed a little bit different than the Blu-ray version I have. It seemed like they cut a little bit of it out compared to what the Blu-ray was.
Maybe because the Blu-ray comes from a different master that was closer to that unrated cut. I don't know, but I know the Blu-ray cut is still not the unrated cut.
It's still not the unrated cut. But I did just watch the Blu-ray, and then I watched that. I was watching. I was going, wait a minute. I did notice that it didn't go to. It didn't really show it.
Is the unrated version is almost the same exact timing. There's just a few shots that are clipped. Because I believe like that's the shot I'm talking about is the version that's in the movie now is a close up of Steve and you hear the noise of the splatter, but you don't see it. And then it cuts to the last like 3 or 4 frames of the guts laying out, but you don't actually see him sliding out. That you see him sliding out in the other version. Yeah. And I think it's the same timing. It's just cut it close. They cut close up in this version. And then the next shot that's altered is her hanging in the tree, Drew Barrymore's character. It zooms in and they cut out like every other frame in the R-rated cut. In the unrated version, it takes a lot longer to zoom in. Yes. So you see a lot more. The other change then, from my recollection, then isn't until the garage door scene is like literally seconds longer, and that's it. It's just you see your head get crushed a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is in the final scenes. And that's where Billy and what's his face are cutting each other up. There is at least 4 or 5 different shots of them cutting. And in the R-rated cut, you have the sound effect, but it's cut away. You don't actually see the stabs and slices. In the R-rated cut, you do, and they're pretty bloody. So those are the only differences. It's not like it's major, but from what I remember, those were changes that were made at the very last minute. So that's why that VHS edition we got. And for a while, that was the only version available from what I know. And double check your DVD, because I think I got rid of my DVD. I almost swear I remember that DVD being that version.
I'm gonna have to check because I
remember even though it said it was rated R, I'm like, this is the unrated cut.
Yeah, I got the DVD. I got DVD, the Blu-ray, and the 4K now, and I have the unrated VHS somewhere. But I'll check my DVD.
Somebody actually put it online, like they must have ripped it from the Laserdisc or whatever. Or maybe it's off that DVD. That's why I'm curious, because they show it. It's literally the video is like a minute long because it's just those few shots. And they just have the two, one on the top and one on the bottom, showing the difference between the two and the timing and everything.
I'll have to check that. I'll let you know. And also this was something I've actually been wanting to do for a while was Scream franchise talk. So maybe when it gets closer to the premiere of the new movie, we'll figure out a day and time to do like a talk on the Scream franchise.
You know, because here's the thing: is Paramount, they don't re-release shit enough. I would be like, oh, they're just going to release it in a box set with the other ones, and then it'll be the unrated cut. I wish that was the case, but Paramount don't do that shit.
Yeah, they don't.
We'll be lucky, like we said last week. This is probably the only fucking version of this, or the only one of these we'll get. We probably aren't going to get Scream 2 and 3 and 4 and 4K.
I know. I wish they would put them in 4K.
I highly doubt it.
But I'm glad. At least I'm glad I have that box set, with the documentaries and everything. So at least I have that.
Because I mean, the only two that made really a lot of money were the first two. So
yeah.
I mean, if they're going to do any of them, it's going to be the first two, and that's it. And since they didn't do 2 with 1, I'm just not convinced they're going to. So
yeah. Well, maybe if this one sells good, which it should, maybe we'll get lucky. But like you said, I doubt it.
Yeah, it seems to be doing well. So hopefully that's the case. But there's a lot going on with Paramount right now. I don't know if you caught the morning show. I doubt it. But there's...
No, I don't think I did this morning, no.
Stars is up for sale right now.
Oh, really?
And I think Lionsgate might be getting sold, and I think Paramount might be the ones go after them.
Oh.
Because they were the ones that bought... the Miramax and Dimension properties from them.
So, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think they might be.
So I wonder what that would do for the Vestron things.
Well, and the reason I think there's a connection there is because was it your show I said this on? I think so. Last week we were talking about I used my Crow code for my Lionsgate. Did I say it on the show or did I say it before the show?
On this one. You said it.
So if I said it in the show, I'm not going to tell the whole story again. But yeah, my code still works. And I was like, well, that's fucking weird because that's owned by Paramount now. And it's way out of date, but it's still went through. And I think it even said something about Paramount and the thing. So it's like, whoa, it's weird because they just transferred everything then. Like, weird.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's why I'm wondering if like those Blu-rays that came out of Scream 2 and 3 aren't just repackaged Lion Gate.
Probably. But I guess it's to you, Tom. So what's your second pick?
Yeah, well, are we doing 3 or are we doing 2?
We'll do 2, but if you feel like going for 3, we'll go 3.
Well, I'll just show my third real quick because I showed this earlier, but Escape from LA, the score finally was released. As far as I know, the score has never been released before. I wish my fucking camera would.
I know.
I hate this thing. It doesn't autofocus for some reason.
It looks good though. I can see it.
Anyway. So yeah, it's 25th anniversary. It's got a couple of unused tracks in it, of course. It's not the pop soundtrack; it's the score by John Carpenter and Shirley Walker. But if anything, it's the best thing to come out of the movie.
Yeah. You mean you didn't like him surfing and high-fiving?
I actually have the 4K digital version of this.
Do you?
Yeah, because this movie is in 4K, but it's just only on digital.
That's probably the only place we'll get it on 4K.
Yeah, well, because Shout has it on. I have the Shout special edition of it, but I don't actually hate the movie. But I'll be the first to admit it's just a remake of the first film.
Oh yeah, it's just the first movie ever again. I like it for the fact, I like cheesy bad movies, so that's why I like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it as much as most people do. I really
don't. It's not bad, and that's pretty cool. I mean, John Carpenter's scores, regardless, is like they're always pretty damn good usually. So that's pretty cool to have that.
No, I mean, John is kind of a troll. I'm sure he was just kind of like, you're going to give me a bunch of money to make the same movie again? All right. And then now he's got ideas for another film. Then he did. And it's like, well, you dumbass.
Yeah.
You just fucked your chances now, buddy. But
it seems to be happening with him a lot lately, though. Like, now he's ready for sequels for his movies.
Yeah. Now, this next movie, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but I'm assuming most American kids in here read this book in school. But The Outsiders, the complete novel. So as you see here, yes. I have an older one that I never took out of the package.
I actually have that on VHS.
Okay, well, there you go. I actually brought this up here for reference, though, because I wanted to be sure, because I said earlier on the show, yes, to my knowledge, this is the only Blu-ray that ever existed, and it is only the complete novel edition that came out in theaters in 2005, I think it was, or 2003, whatever it was, when they first remastered it. And yeah, this Blu-ray comes clear back in 2014 or whatever. So that's the old one. But this week, we got this beauty right here. And now don't let that little thing there fool you. This isn't Shout. This is actually Warner Brothers released this. But it is The Outsiders 4K. And it's the theatrical cut and the other cut.
Oh, nice.
So for those who are curious, yes, this does have the original theatrical cut in it. Now, there's more important things to this than that. And I got into much more detail in 4K for you earlier, so I'm not.
Yes, and everybody check out 4K for you over on Midnight Hits because they really do a great show there.
I'm not going to drag it out too much, but I was completely unaware about this release until I saw the special features on this, and I pretty much watched almost all the special features minus the commentaries. Mm-hmm. But I can't believe what they did for this movie, man. They went back to the original negatives because Francis Ford Coppola was smart enough to save everything. And I mean everything he's ever shot, I guess, from like the late 60s. Awesome. He's ever done. And he went back, and I don't know if you noticed this when you're watching a 4K movie or not, but when it goes through the titles and certain opticals and stuff like that, the quality will degrade big time.
Yeah, sometimes, shots. Yeah.
And the reason for that is, and I already knew this, but they actually explain this in the making of this, or when they talk about the restoration, about how, when they send the film off to an optical house to get this shit done, they're usually sending a second or third generation from the original dupe negative, and then they'll put that together, and then they'll send it back. So by the time they get it back and it's reinserted back into the negative, and they do dupes and all that shit, you're looking at like a fifth or sixth generation sometimes of what it originally was. And in these cases, with the fact of what they were doing with this, because they went back and did a 6K scan of this film, because a couple of years back, George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola all did scans of all their films in 6K.
Smart.
And I'm thinking he did everything from the ground up, because that's what happened here, and that's the long version I'm trying to shorten up here. Is they went back and he had everything, all the elements, and with the original cinematographer, they sat down and reconstructed the film. And when I say reconstructed the film, I mean reconstructed the film from scratch, basically.
Damn.
So like in like there's like several scenes where you have like, you know, optical fades over, where you have like people in the background in the clouds and other things in the front, along with other elements. So you're talking about like 3 elements tied together into one image, and the degradation that would have in a 4K copy. So what they did was they reconstructed those in digital instead, and they did them as pretty much as close as possible to the original versions. And,
nice.
the cinematographer was along to make sure that the color timing and everything was correct, and the timing and everything on the fades and all that stuff was correct. The titles, as far as I know, are all correct. And honestly, the difference here compared to other films that I've seen when they, you know, when you have to cut to one of those optical differences, is leaps and bounds. Like, this is one of the best 4K Blu-rays I've ever seen in my life.
That's
from
cool.
top
Now
to
I'm gonna have to
bottom,
pick it up.
completely reconstructed. You get the original theatrical version here, which is now for the first time available in high definition, as far as I know. And you get the new version that came out a couple years back, which is called the complete novel. And I just finished watching that before we got on the show here. And that, to me, is the superior version.
Oh, most definitely, probably.
And normally I'm not a big fan of extended cuts, but he
Same.
did more than just extend the cut. He changed the soundtrack. That was one of my biggest problems with the original film. And he actually points it out in the restoration bit. He talks about how he had his dad do the music, and there's this Gone with the Wind motif that goes through the whole film, right? So his dad got the idea to score the film like Gone with the Wind. And at the time, Francis just didn't have the balls to say something to his dad that it just wasn't fit in the movie. And that was one of my big points of contention with the movie growing up, is that it felt like a TV movie, and I figured out why. It's that score.
Makes sense.
Take that score out, because now in the complete novel version, there's only little bits and pieces left of that score. Otherwise, it's filled up with contemporary music of the time.
Cool.
And it changes the tone. It helps you feel more in place. It makes the scenes that felt like kind of schmaltzy and cheesy feel more real. It is a much more improved version of the film, on top of getting almost 25 minutes of additional footage, including 2 very important scenes, the beginning chase of Ponyboy and the court scene. So there you go.
That's pretty cool. I mean, like we've talked about, Warner Brothers typically does very good on their stuff like this. So
yeah, there's like at least a half a dozen new special features on here that are brand new. And that's where they're talking about the restoration and all that business. And then just there's one that's like Francis Ford Coppola just kind of looking back on it, and a few of the other people involved. And like I said, they carried all the other special features over from that other Blu-ray I showed as well.
That's cool.
So they put a nice little package together. But then I found out after I got this the other day, Zavi has an international version of this coming out.
For real?
It's actually really well priced, and it has a shit ton of goodies with it.
Oh, nice. And it will be the cut of these cuts too?
Same exact Blu-rays.
Oh, nice.
But it also has the Blu-ray editions and the soundtrack. So I'm really tempted, because it's actually not that badly priced. It comes with lobby cards, collectible book, I think 2 posters.
Oh, that's cool. See, I need to pick this up, because I've been meaning to get this for a while, and I knew the 4K was coming, but I didn't actually know it was out already. I thought it was coming later.
I knew it was coming. It kind of took me surprise when I got it the other day, and even Mike, who's usually here with us, he says his is delayed right now, but he should be getting it the next day or so, I think he said. But yeah, it was kind of, I forgot, oh yeah, this did come out. And I got it, and I watched. I fell in love with the movie again, because again, like I said, our American friends in the chat will remember probably reading this and watching it in school.
Yes,
I imagine they don't show it so much anymore.
No, I don't think they do.
Because after watching the extended cut tonight, I was like, I thought about that, because Valiant and I, when we talked about it earlier, we're like, oh, I don't know if they still show it in school. They might. And And I'm sitting here watching it. There's no fucking way they still show this movie in school.
Yeah, no way.
No fucking way. Every scene would be problematic.
True. Everything will be just everything is problematic nowadays, no matter what it is.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but yeah, I could see they probably wouldn't show that one in school anymore. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up because like I said, I really didn't know it was out yet because I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was actually out. So I will be checking that out myself.
Yeah, there's some great special features on here too. One of the newer ones was a guy who bought the original house.
Oh, really?
It was just sitting there dilapidating. So he bought it, and with the help of fans, refurbished it into an outsider's museum.
Huh.
Because for those who don't know, the short version of how this story came to be, it was originally written by a 16-year-old. And she based it on people she kind of really knew and places and all that kind of stuff where she grew up. And S.E. Hinton is her name. And basically she was one of the consultants on the movie too. And so she showed Francis all the places that she wrote about, and he just filmed them there. And so all those places are like pretty well known in this town now. And so yeah, there's that featurette. You got a featurette with her where she's going around showing you all the places that inspired the book and all that stuff and some of the events. And so there's a lot of that great stuff. And then just Francis reiterates the story of how he even came to make the movie in the first place, which is really cool, and how this edition came to be and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So it, just all the great special features that are there. And I mean, this is a movie that, I mean, you think, look at the cast. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just amazing cast. You got C. Thomas Howell, Matt Dillon, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Diane Lane, Milo Estevez, Tom Cruise, Leif Garrett, just to name a few. Young Tom Waits. There's a few other faces in here that are familiar.
Isn't Henry Winkler in it?
I don't know if he's in it. I don't think he's in it because he would have already been, I think, making. Unless he's one of the background guys.
I thought he was in this one, and that's what got him the job as Fonzie.
No, I think you're thinking of something else, but I could be. I don't think he's in this.
Okay, I might be thinking something else because I always sworn he was in Outsiders, but maybe I'm wrong. But Mr. Plague Doctor says they showed it to us in like 7th grade. I think I'm in college now, and Runner said he watched it in 7th grade as well too.
Well, it's cool that they still showed it when you were still in school, Runner. I doubt they do now. But yeah, the whole reason that this complete novel version exists is the short version is Coppola got a letter from a librarian from a school and a letter signed by a buttload of students that said they nominated him to make the movie version of the novel because it needs to be made, because it was a book that was read in schools all over the country, and they sent him a copy of the book. So he was like, oh, I better check this thing out. And of course it was right up his alley. Right. And so he made the movie, and, he was proud of it and whatnot. It did pretty well. But for years, everybody bugged him. They're like, well, what about this part in the book? And what about that part in the book? And what about this part in the book? Did you ever film that? And he's like, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, I did. Lords of Flatbush. That's it.
Yeah, Lords of Flatbush. That's thank you, Glizner Cosmic Squirrel. So I knew I was thinking of something.
He's like, yeah, so as a matter of fact, I did film all that stuff.
That's cool.
And he's like, you know what? What if I do a definitive version for the schools, right? Like, so that the kids actually get a version that's, a full version. And he debuted it at his granddaughter's class, actually, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, it got a theatrical release, and we all got that version now. But so, yeah, it's kind of cool. I prefer that version, but I'm glad to say for those who are worried about it, the theatrical cut is finally available again for those who've always wanted it and have missed it for the last few years in any high definition form, as far as I know. So there you go, kids. Great package. Cool. One I can recommend very, very, very fucking highly. And I never thought that I'd be talking this much about this movie this week.
I know, but
I just expected to be a throwaway, like, oh, we got a new 4K, because I knew Coppola has done all his movies. But what this really makes me look forward to is I'm hoping he's done. I didn't even really think about it. I wonder if this is how he did Apocalypse Now. I didn't even pay attention to that, and I wonder if that's how he's going to do The Godfather. So I'm going to go back and revisit Apocalypse Now, because I don't even think I've shown that on here yet. So I can probably do that one of these days.
Yeah, no, I don't think you've shown it on here.
Next week is going to be full of some ghosts, so we'll see.
Cool. And I'm definitely getting that because right now, because like I said, all I have that on is VHS. It's an old VHS, so I definitely need to upgrade big time and I definitely need to get that.
There's some great stuff in here about the casting too. They even show a little bit of footage about all the people that tried out for the parts, like a bunch of people you wouldn't even imagine. It's really cool because I mean, like every major young actor in Hollywood tried out for
That's always interesting to see those, like, to learn who could have been who.
Yeah, it was a hot property, so.
Yeah. And I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Well, since you showed your last two, I'll show my last two right now. And speaking of Ralph Macchio, I just got The Karate Kid on VHS, and now I don't think this is an original.
It's one of the re-releases, but that's all right.
The re-releases to make it look like it, but I just saw it and I had to get in. It was in really good condition.
The only way you know it's the original edition is because if it has the full box.
Yeah, if it's like slide down like that. Yeah, but I saw that and it was pretty good, and I had to get that.
I used to have it and I gave it away.
See, you gave it away, and then finally, Strange Brew.
Oh, nice. Classic.
Yeah, Dave Thomas and oh my god, Rick Moranis. I almost forgot Rick Moranis' name. Take off, Ozier. But yes, this is I love this freaking movie. I could watch this movie and laugh and laugh and laugh.
Hold up
Put
a second.
The mouse in the bottle.
Mr. Plague Doctor, there's a sequel to The Outsiders. I was completely unaware of this.
Oh yeah, he said that back here a while ago. Where did he say that? Let me find it.
I brought that up, Tim Hayes, that you have a very young Tom Waits in one scene.
There's a spin-off to The Outsiders that we read. It was bizarre.
Oh, wow.
And then Tim Hayes says, yes, The Outsiders had a short-lived TV
that I didn't
series.
know either. I do remember it being like a stage play, though, and that makes sense. Like, that I kind of remember half-assed.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're still showing that in schools, though, if they are.
Well, I mean, maybe in Runner's class in Mr. Plague Doctor's class, but now maybe
what
not.
It sounded like, I think Francis donated the movie to a bunch of schools throughout the country or whatever. So that might be the only reason why, but yeah, I can't believe, considering how problematic it is.
Yeah. But yeah, you piqued my interest on it because I haven't seen it in a while, and I definitely need to upgrade it big time.
But Strange Brew, that's a good disc there.
Oh, yeah, Strange Brew. I love this movie. They're just doing all their old bits from the album.
Let's get
them. What you do is you put a little mouse in the bottle here, eh? And then when they play hockey, oh man! And when I always cracked up when they went in the water in the van and they're sitting there passing the beer bottle back and forth just to breathe, and the guy comes in to save them. They're just staring at him.
I don't know if you'll get this comparison or not, but to me, it always felt like the SCTV answer to the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you because I've seen SCTV and I know that. Yeah. I agree with you.
It does have some similarities to the Blues Brothers in a weird way.
Yeah, it does, like with the car chases and the police.
Exactly,
and then, and then like the whole weird like thing goes on there and then there. Yeah, I get it. It's definitely like the Canadian version of the Blues Brothers.
And the Blues Brothers were kind of spin-offs of SNL, so like
yeah, I get it. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, yes, I have to have this because this was just such a great movie.
Special features on it too. I think they do a commentary. There's a little animated bit on there and some.
Yeah, they have the animated adventures of Bob and Doug, classic sketch from SCTV, how the stuff a mouse in a beer bottle. So yeah, it was good. And then plus you get what's his name, Max von Sydow in here too. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't get more Bob and Doug movies. It sucks.
I know. I wish we would have got a sequel to that or something good. Well, I mean, that was good enough as is, but
man,
yeah, the Canadian Cheech and Chong.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my picks for the night. And I just wanted to show the Karate Kid because I just bought it, and it was a pretty good conditioned VHS. But yeah, with the 4K coming, with the big box set 4K coming up, probably be picking that up.
I used to have the original VHS. I can't believe I got rid of it.
I know.
There's a couple of them I wish I would have kept just to have, but
There's to be honest, there's a lot of stuff I've bought lately. Some of it I could give back, but some of it I've really enjoyed getting again. You know, it's something weird about buying that again after getting rid of it. I don't know what it is. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's not like I'd ever watch one.
I would see like I don't mind watching a VHS. I really don't. But you know, I'm like you. I mean, 4K Blu-ray, that's the way to go. But if I get, at least I will watch the VHS, and it kind of nostalgic.
I was just gonna say, I get some people are like the nostalgia of it. I get it. Yeah. I mean, if you still got a CRTV or whatever, and you can watch them on a regular TV, then and enjoy it that way, that's probably more enjoyable. But
yeah, I mean, I have it hooked up to the HD, so
yeah, to me that would drive me nuts.
It's just I don't know. It's it don't bother me too bad with the black bars on the
resolution side shit for fuck's sake on my regular computer monitor. It's just because those kind of monitors make that kind of stuff look even worse.
Yeah, it gets you though. But yeah, I it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, those were my picks for tonight. No, I haven't had a whole lot new lately, especially with, like I've been saying, the holidays are coming, so I tend to slow down in November and December on my purchases, but then I'll get a bunch for Christmas and stuff. So
I did get my Kino.
I know you talked about that. You got a big box of Kino stuff.
And I got a nice stack of Full Moon and other B movie features from Chris Gore. I got to get through yet too. Surprisingly, he sent, of all the movies I have, he managed to send me like 10 movies I didn't have already.
Oh, that's cool.
And I do have quite a few Full Moon ones. I'm just like, wow, that's surprising. So, but out of all of them, I think I'd only heard of 2 of them. So, but that's not a bad thing. I mean, they do look interesting. They're like, like horror B movies and
what he said. What were they? Because I love the Full Moon movies.
Offhand, I don't have them up here, but I know Shrunken Heads from Full Moon was one of them.
I've heard of that one.
And there was one set that had like a bunch of B exploitation sex movies. And just like a lot of like schlocky horror kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, they have good ones. I love the Full Moon. That's why I had the Full Moon streaming service, and man, they have some crazy crap on there. Man, I really enjoyed.
There's a couple of the Full Moon ones I did recognize, but then there was a couple that, because I know Charles Band had bought in a bunch of older films, and he was releasing them under the Full Moon banner. So a couple of them are those like 70s kind of like B grindhouse kind of movies. So I can't remember the titles, but like Amazon Women from Mars kind of shit.
Oh yeah. Like, did you get Beach Babes from Beyond?
That might have been one of them.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I think there's a couple of them like that. He sent me a nice little selection. I'll bring them on if I get to chat. See, my thing is with bringing them on here, my rule. I like to be able to have at least watched it first.
At least talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, because I hate to just go like, yeah, look, I got this.
It's true. But we do have a $5 super chat from Tommy. Says, keep the past alive with those VHS finds, FanZcene. You're on a mission from God. You got to say it like that.
We're on a mission from God.
On a mission from God. And thank you, Tommy. Thank you. Yeah, trust me, Tommy. I'm still buying them. I'm still
Brothers versus the Blues Brothers.
That would have been a hell of a movie, actually.
Well, the Mackenzies would beat them at hockey, but the Blues Brothers would beat them at music. So
yes, that's true. That's true. And I appreciate that, Tommy. Thank you. Let's see. What can I show? I haven't really showed much of these lately. Here, just watch some of this guy. That guy's nuts. But yes, I think that's about Oh, but yeah, we need to get Chris Gore on here. We need to get Chris
I'm
Gore on
hoping
here.
to talk him into it one of these days soon. He sounded like he would have tonight had he been at home. So, but or around anyway.
Yes, and yeah, we'll try to start getting more people on here for everybody, so that we can just share our love of physical media, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Physical media, man. It's not dead. It's not dying. It's not going anywhere. Don't be fooled. As far as I'm concerned.
No, it's doing all right. It's getting good grades. The future looks bright.
Got to wear shades.
That's right.
Every time I hear that song, I always think of My Best Friend's a Vampire. I don't know why, but I always do.
That has to get released. That hasn't been released on Blu-ray yet.
I know. I wish they would. No, it's only got on DVD.
But it was even a decent one. I don't think I have it. So I don't know.
I know I've been wanting to get. You mentioned.
I remember that one on cable all the damn time, though.
I know, that's where I've seen it. I was like all the time. It was on cable. That and She's One of the Guys.
That's on Blu-ray. I have.
Yes, that is on Blu-ray now. I think Kino did it. Was that Kino that did
I think
that
it was
one?
Sony just did it. I think it was one of their MOD ones, though.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and I always liked that movie too.
It actually wasn't Mill Creek.
I think we hurt Mill Creek's feelings, and they had to change their website. I really do.
It would be awesome if the Mill Creek people get a hold of us and we get a buttload of Mill Creek.
Oh, I would love Mill Creek. We talk about you all the time.
Hey, I don't hate them.
It's just, we don't hate you.
Trying to make it a little better. You got a lot of good shit. Shit. In fact, I just picked up and got one of my Black Friday sale deals. Was that 70s show complete series for only 30 some bucks.
And I got Knight Rider and News Radio from Mill Creek. I mean, come on.
Is News Radio on Blu-ray?
No, it's DVD.
Oh, okay. Because I got the Knight Rider one, but no, I picked up that 70s show. It was one I kind of eyeballed, and I think you and I talked about it after the show forever.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago or something like that. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. But it was kind of ironic because it just popped up for the Black Friday sale. It made me think of that too. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll get it. And I watched the first episode. I'm like, God damn, this show is a lot. I remember now why I like the show. Because those first few seasons are really fucking solid.
Yeah, the first couple seasons are pretty good. And then after that, it kind of just falls apart.
Even that first episode is pretty chock full of laughs.
Yeah. I remember seeing it, that first episode on TV, and everybody was talking about it the next day at school. So, it had an impact.
I mean, I remember watching it when it first came out, but I just kind of fell out of it after a while. But and I'd seen it here and there in reruns over the years. But no, I just popped it in just to check the quality of it because it was Mill Creek. I'm like, oh boy,
the Mill Creek Killer.
Exactly, and they got fucking stacked discs. Go Mill Creek, and you're stacked fucking discs.
I don't know why they do that though. It's like I hate that you get it and you're like open it up, and if they're not stacked, they're in those little paper envelopes.
Well, at least in the paper envelopes, they're stacked on top of each other. Then at least they're not touching each other. But no, between those two are the worst. It's like Mill Creek, you cheap motherfucking bastards. I get it. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to do something on the cheap to make it more affordable for people. I get that. I understand that. But how hard is it to just find some kind of happy medium to where you give me a case where not every single fucking disc flies out at me when I open up it. Exactly. Open it up and got like 12 discs unstacked on top of each other. Or even a fucking case that'll hold anything. Because I remember some of their worst shit from back in the day would literally be just like cardboard, chonky fucking cases, chock full of fucking, like you just said, discs in fucking white paper sleeves. And you're like, how fucking cheap can you get? I can make a better fucking set than this. Like, what the
exactly.
hell?
I bought a while back, a long time ago. I can't think of his name, but it's the Boobs, Babes, and Bombs guy. Oh, what is his name? He did that's what he put in the movie. He made sure he had hot women, boobs.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but I bought it, and it's Mill Creek. It was DVDs before they were on Blu-ray, and they're just like they're stacked on top of each other, and it's just like, why would you do that?
Or they'll cram 12 movies.
Oh, and plus they were double-sided, so they were stacked on each other.
cheap motherfuckers. Yeah, they've gotten a little better. And it feels like they've even gotten even more better since we started griping about them.
Yes, and I mean, we've seen
they even changed their fucking website. And you can't tell me it wasn't because we were picking on them.
Yeah, Mill Creek, we like you. We just, your packaging needs some work. Just send us some of your samples and we'll test them out for you and we'll give you good reviews as long as we like it.
Compression, kids. Don't cram so much shit on a disc. I get it. But still.
Exactly. And like you said, they may be getting into the boutique side with the new Street Fighter.
I hope so. You know,
Andy Sedaris. Yes, Andy Sedaris.
You know, I don't think they're that far from where I am. I mean, they're not close, but I think they're like a drive away. But I can't drive in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Long story short, I got pulled over and I didn't have insurance, or at least I didn't have proof of insurance, and I got a ticket.
Oh, it sucks.
And I refused to pay it, so I can't drive in Minnesota.
I'm wanted in Minnesota. I can't do it.
Not wanted. They just, every time I get my license renewed, they go, by the way, you can't drive in Minnesota. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Who wants to go to fucking Minnesota anyways?
I wouldn't go to that shithole. Yeah, fuck them. Prince is dead. There's no reason to go.
Exactly. But thank you, Tom, for coming on. It was a good show tonight. It was fun. I mean, it's a little shorter than we usually do, but like I'm hoping next week to have more people on here, and you know, maybe we'll start getting some guests down the line.
I know Robert had fun. It's just hard to get a hold. He's so busy.
Yeah, Robert's a busy man. Maybe we'll try to maybe get Robert back. Chris Gore. I just spoke to a director, which is on here. Check it out, everybody. It's on my channel. Interview with director Stephen Shea. Might be able to get him to come on down the line too, because he's a big physical media collector. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few other people I'd like to ask and set some stuff up with yet, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we got to get the show to grow, so make sure you keep watching, sharing that out, and subscribing, smashing that like button.
Tom Toretto.
Tom Toretto. Tom Toretto.
Tom Toretto.
He lives his life a mile at a time.
Hells yeah.
And thank you to everybody hanging out with us in the chat. Glizner, Tommy, thank you for the super chat, Tommy, and the Guinea Pig Collective. Mr. Plague Doctor, Runner, get your ass back on here. Tim Hayes, appreciate it. Tim Hayes is like top of the chat waiting every week, so I appreciate that. Tim.
Tim's awesome.
Yeah, Tim's awesome. Maria with T and Telly. Hi, Maria.
How you doing?
How you doing?
We actually got some chicks watching. That's awesome.
Yeah, Maria, she's cool. Cosmic Squirrel. I got about 5%. I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah, and everybody else watching on the thing, and the guy that did the anime, he was new. I can't remember his name, Zevelin or something like that. He talked about Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, a few new faces.
Yeah, so
just sucks I can't share shit out on my fucking channel right now.
Yeah, I know, but hopefully you'll get that soon. When is that all due back?
Next couple days here.
Next couple days. That's cool. I mean, but like I said, man, this is fun. I have fun doing this, and the people showing up. I hope you guys have fun too. So, and as always, as we leave, thank you. Smash that subscribe button, hit the like button. Go over to Tom's, subscribe to Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark and Midnight's Edge Radio. Hang out and have some fun. And check out 4K for You, which they did earlier if you missed it. So go over to Midnight's Edge and check out.
There one of these days.
Yeah, whenever, man.
Yeah.
And so as I go, you know what I like to leave you with.
How you doing? Bitches leave.
Dumbass.